It's a new year, but are you caught in the same patterns? Have you lost hope anything will change and you're only 7 days into the new year? Hi, I'm Kirsten D. Samuel, Aftershock Recovery Method Coach, and today we're going to talk about 4 practical steps to fix your eyes on Jesus and find hope and healing in the new year. Normal cycles feel comfortable, don't they? But they don't bring change, nor do they deal with problems we face in our relationships. Our old relational patterns keep us trapped. God encourages us to live life differently, however, to see life the way He sees it. But that's a huge challenge, isn't it? In Hebrews 3, it tells us to fix our thoughts on Jesus, who experienced every human struggle we face. But here's the rub. Jesus faced what we faced, but didn't sin. In the first part of Hebrews 3, we're told that Jesus remained faithful to the one who appointed him, God the Father. Later in Hebrews, we're told to fix our eyes on Jesus so we can persevere in life. Getting caught up in the pain of our woundedness or betrayal, understandably, makes it difficult to see other alternatives, doesn't it? Mental pain is less dramatic than physical pain, but it is more common and also more hard to bear. The frequent attempt to conceal mental pain increases the burden. It's easier to say, my tooth is aching, than to say, my heart is broken. This is what C.S. Lewis wrote several years ago. It is easier to acknowledge a physical wound and receive sympathy and empathy for that wound than it is to voice the heart wound and the mental anguish caused by sexual betrayal. Pain masks our hope, but hope remains. To move beyond the pain into healing, you must change your perspective. This is what God continually reminds me. People cause pain to others. Always have, always will. But in Hebrews 12, we're encouraged to shift our perspective. Only through looking at Jesus and following His example through the Holy Spirit's work in our lives can we see more than the pain. But how do we fix our eyes on Jesus? Well, let's look at 4 practical ways to do this. Number 1, study the Bible. The only way to be focused on Jesus is to know who He is. Well, how do you get to know Him? Read the Bible every day. I've discovered that missing one day of reading the Bible loosens my focus, but missing more than one day wounds my heart, mind, and soul. I find I'm impatient, discouraged, anxious, and a host of other negative emotions and behaviors. Why? Because I've lost touch with Jesus, God the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Diving back into the Bible helps me reconnect. Number 2, guard your inputs. Now, if you've followed me for any time, you know I talk about inputs often. Where do you spend most of your time? Who do you hang out with? What do you read? How much news do you watch every day? What television shows or movies do you gravitate towards? Geigo holds true. Garbage in, garbage out. A dear friend's son recently passed away. At his funeral, we heard story after story about how he encouraged others to look to Jesus no matter what. He chose to spend time with others who pointed him to Jesus so he could do the same for everyone he met. His life challenges were just like yours and mine, yet this was his legacy. It really made me think. Number 3, watch your words. Every day you can speak life or death. It's your choice. How often do you find yourself speaking negative things about or to yourself or others? It's really easy to do, isn't it? I'm such an idiot. But that's not what Jesus did. If we choose to fix our eyes on Him, then with the Holy Spirit's help, we can learn to speak life more than death. We do this through speaking encouragement, forgiveness, acceptance, love, and truth. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. It's time to move on. Number 4, invest in God-focused friendships. Who speaks life and truth to you? Who points you to Jesus? Jeffrey Hall, an associate professor of communication studies at the University of Kansas, has researched friendships for at least a decade. He asked several different groups how long it took to make a friend. Well, here's what he found. It takes about 40 to 60 hours of time spent together in the first few weeks after meeting for people to form a casual friendship. Wow. Well, get this one. To transition from a casual friend to a friend takes about 80 to 100 hours of together time. And for friends to become good or best friends, it takes about 200 or more hours spent together. Well, when I first heard these stats, my jaw dropped. But then I reflected on my friendships. Those I consider true friends, good or best, are the ones I spend the most time with. And we've logged well over 200 hours through the years. Not all these friendships depend on proximity. Due to life circumstances, while the friendships did start in the same location, we continue to maintain contact via phone or video calls, letters, email, and text messaging. And if we get to be in the same vicinity, you can believe we're going to connect. Fixing our eyes on Jesus helps us process the pain of your husband's betrayal in healthy ways. I love this quote from Winston Churchill, and he said, "If you're going through hell, keep going." We smile at this quip, but there's a nugget of truth here. As one who has walked through the pain of recovery from porn addiction and suicidal depression, I know how vital it was to not get stuck. I am so thankful for the people we reached out to who told us we had hope. Finding safe people, Jesus with skin on people, eases the burden of carrying this pain alone. God provides these people when we ask Him to reveal them. We need others to walk through the healing process and to remind us there is hope. The only way I know to recover from betrayal in your heart and marriage is through a strong relationship with Jesus. My coaching clients and I work on this relationship in every step of the Aftershock recovery method. Once you get anchored in Jesus, then you begin healing. Without Jesus, I don't believe there is any true hope of healing. Dave and I reflect often on the miracle God brought to us and our marriage. We say this: God didn't restore our marriage. He gave us a brand new one, built on truth, trust, and authenticity. Our normal patterns destroyed us. Fixing our eyes on Jesus brought a new way of life. Because of what God did in my life and marriage, I know you have hope. It starts with fixing your eyes on Jesus and submitting to His way of doing life. If you're not sure how to do this, I'd love to show you how. Hop on over to KirstenDSamuel.com and click the blue button. Let's talk.